Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and we are back with more reactions for Supergirl. Mm, okay. So, just in, in advance, I do know quite a few, like not quite a few, but just like a few things here and there about this episode already going into it, and they are good things. They are very, very good things. This is a very, very special episode, especially for RZ, aka Kelly. This is an episode co-written by her as well. Like I think she is so far the only Arrowverse actor, throughout the Arrowverse's entire run, pre and post Crisis. She's the only Arrowverse actor to actually get the opportunity to do this, but she actually co-wrote this episode as well. So that alone is a big kind of tell that this is going to be a special one. And I think it's also directed by David Ramsey too. And I think David Ramsey is said to have actually directed like a few episodes of Superman and Lois here and there too, without actually appearing in them. He's actually said to have directed those, and I've still got catching up. I don't know if I've actually seen any of his episodes. I think like those are closer towards like the middle of the season onwards and everything. So I've yet to actually get to those, but with this one, he came back to direct this. So I don't know if that's it. I don't know if that means we're going to be seeing, because I mean, so far Superman and Lois, from what I've seen, haven't bothered or tried to connect to the Arrowverse as we know it in any way. But with Supergirl, we know that it is, it being like a more mainstream Arrowverse show, it actually did kind of carry on consequences and after effects of the Crisis. So I think there is a higher chance that we could see Diggle in this compared to Superman and Lois, but I think I don't know if they've still taken that opportunity, or if he's just or if he's going to be kind of focused on being behind the camera and everything. But yeah, this I'm pretty sure this is also Kelly's debut episode as Guardian. This is as Guardian. Um, so I don't know if that means I hope that means we're going to see her suit up. I mean, we haven't seen a suit yet. We've seen the helmet. James sent the helmet from the kind of other town he was working in. He actually was contacted by Alex a couple of episodes ago, and he sent down the helmet and everything. So could do with some modifications. I think I saw the picture without the helmet that Ozzy shared onto Twitter and everything, and I mean I could say it looks good, but that would be an understatement. That would be a criminal understatement to say that it looks good. It looks heavenly. It looks astonishing. It just like there are not enough adjectives in my vocabulary to do justice to how good she looks in the suit and how good the suit looks by itself as well. So I genuinely kind of cannot wait to see it finally happen. Hopefully in this episode. So I can't wait to see what the episode holds in that regard. But yeah, this episode I think it's been promoted like I think Ozzy herself and the kind of the I guess portions of the CW marketing team have actually I mean Ozzy's been carrying the promotion on her back. She's been carrying it since the beginning, but she has made sure people know exactly what kind of episode this is and how special this episode is for her and for audiences too. So and for the story of Kelly and her becoming Guardian. So to say that, my heart has been pounding all day to actually get to this episode, that would also be an understatement. I genuinely just, tried to wake up early to catch this before I went to work, and it didn't quite pan out that way, so I had to wait until afterwards, and now I'm back, and now I can finally watch it, so, yeah, this is going to be a big one. This is going to be a big one, so strap in. If you haven't watched the episode, then go watch the episode and then come back to this, but this is going to be a big one. This is going to be a very, very big one, a very, very special one, and an undeniably important episode, unarguably throughout the entire show's history as well. So I'm not ready. I am simultaneously ready and not ready for this. So yeah, this is going to be fun. But yeah, that's all that kind of stuff. And then I think previously we had Mixie coming in, Thomas Mann returning as Mixie, and he was kind of on magical lockdown because if he used his magic, then Nixley, being on the same plane and pretty much the same city as him, would have detected him immediately and actually come to take him away. And in the end, they both got taken away anyway. He kind of gave his life to actually go in the crystal, but then they both got beamed up and everything. So I'm kind of wondering if that might have been the menagerie guy, Mitch, who Nixley was working with before. But then she still, I think by the end of the episode, she actually did kind of team up with him again after initially scaring him off. So I'm wondering if that was like a rescue mission for immediately after she actually managed to get Mixie and the Crystal, then he just beams them up, and then they go off on their own way and everything. So that happened. So we had Mixie and the Crystal. So now they got to got to try and stop Nixley. So that's gonna be fun. And then we had Lena as well. Lena was off in Ireland, I think Newfoundland. She was in Newfoundland. She was actually looking up more of her mother's history, and what she was hearing from the more biased people against her mother wasn't really the best news. That she was a killer and a villain and all this, that, and the other. And then she finally met one of her mother's kind of oldest kind of friends who was still alive and who had actually exiled herself to the coven. That her and her mother and two other friends were actually in a coven, that they were witches and they practiced witchcraft and magic and stuff. And then they killed one of the women's abusive husbands, and then they, just like their witchcraft got exposed to the town, and they got chased away, and some of them stayed, some of them left, and then things went sideways and everything. So yeah, now Lena's got the gift too. Apparently Lena has the gift, which we can only assume is magical powers and everything. So I think I've seen people kind of get somewhat like divisive about that, of like, the writers actually giving her powers now, as opposed to like keeping her human and actually showing that she's still capable of being human. So I think it basically all comes down to whether or not she still actually decides to reclaim the magic. She could always still stick with her kind of technology and actually stick to what she's comfortable with and what she knows she can do and what she knows she's works the best with. But also, if she wants to reclaim the magic, then I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to whatever she does, it's going to end up saving the world anyway, or at least helping save the world. So either way, Lena is a great helping hand. So that's my perspective. But yeah, I am very curious to know how they approach that kind of background and how they approach that kind of future for her going forward. So it should be fun. But yeah, that is it. My heart is honestly pounding. I just can't wait to get into this. I don't know why I'm nervous. I think it's more just like me being like actually excited. Like it comes off as nerves and then actually turns out to be, oh, I'm just really kind of excited and anxious to actually get into the episode. So I'm not ready for this one, but we are going to go into it anyway. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from the last one. So into this episode, co-written by Arzi, as I mentioned. This is this very, very special episode dedicated to Arzi's talent and her just magnificence as Kelly, aka the new Guardian. So yeah, that is all I got from the last one. So on to episode number 12. Onto the reaction, and as you guys know by now, this will just be the fair use version with the highlights and the best bits and everything. But if you guys want the full length version, then that one is going to be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. But yeah, Supergirl season 6 episode 12. Let's go.
Oh, I'm so happy for you.
Oh no, Joey. Oh no, because the building came down. It literally crumbled down. Don't tell me Joey got hurt in that. I mean, that's the implication, sure. But oh god, tell me he's alive. Tell me Joey's alive. Wait, were there people still living in the building?
I'm gonna make some calls. Let's go and open up a bed for one of the good people of this community. Thank you so much for bringing my attention to it.
She said she'd help, and she just left.
Well, she didn't even want to come here in the first place. Right? This place isn't good enough for her. She needs.
Aren't you friends with Supergirl?
I have to go. I'm so sorry, but you are amazing. You can do anything. I love you.
Thank you. What? She is, but even Kelly has her limits. She's still human. She has her limits.
You tell your chief of medicine that if he wants those healthcare grants approved by city council, then I get the medicine.
Wow, so she's bribing them with. Wow. Whoa! Oh, she's got a glowing skin. From Joey.
Can someone?
Oh no, because the magic is what crumbled the building down, so magic is the thing. Are they poisoned then?
There was an explosion. People are gonna die. And it's like no one cares. I don't know how you did it. Because I'm already so tired. I'm exhausted.
Oh. Whoa. What the hell was that?
Here is so
Her own security
powerless.
just died.
These
And now she's all healed
someone's
up.
Child,
Oh, God.
mothers, brothers. I I'm scared it's only gonna get worse.
Oh, it is.
And I don't know what else to
It's
do.
about to get a whole lot worse.
Ignis.
Ooh.
Florence, I am so sorry. I could have hurt you. It's fine.
She
We'll
goes
try
for fire
again.
first thing, really? She gonna mask like the elements or something?
Is everything okay?
Kelly.
Yeah, I was just gonna go home and check on Kelly, but I'm sure she's got it covered.
No, Alex, you need to check in now. Someone, please check the fucking.
Andrea, Kelly, our viewers care about traffic.
A lot of people are suffering because of that Ormfell collapse in the Heights.
If you covered what they were going through, it would bring needed attention and assistance.
How is traffic newsworthy? Oh no, cars behind one another.
Kelly Olsen, right?
I know
Hey,
John
Johnny is in this.
from Star
John
City.
Diggle is
Well,
in
in
this.
Metropolis these days, but yes.
Oh yeah, he did go to Metropolis. Yeah, he did. Yeah, go
I
to
didn't realize you
Metropolis.
and Jimmy were in touch.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we
John
talked from time to
Diggle.
time. We both have worked with some.
I know something is making the people in the Heights sick, and I know it's something more than just that Ormfell building coming down.
It's the magic that brought it
Okay.
down. The magic.
Best place to start is at the source. Let's go.
Great. Oh, I'm so glad they get to work together. I'm so glad. Yeah.
How is
Damn,
anyone
that
ever
jacket
gonna
is really good.
Find a way.
That treatment I got has me feeling amazing and hungry. I would kill for a sandwich right now.
What? Oh.
I thought about it and then it appeared. I
Oh,
could
she.
transform this entire neighborhood.
Oh God, no. I hate that. I hate everything about that.
The people in your district seem to really need housing.
People in my district don't know what's really good for them. Wouldn't you like to have your whole re-election campaign funded?
Sure, who
Oh, wow. Just yeah, materializing stacks of money.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
An idealistic power in completely the wrong hands. Completely the wrong hands. Whoa. What's she doing to Joey?
And once we get Mixie back, he'll be able to fix everything. He can just snap his fingers and put everything back to the way it was.
But the way it wasn't.
Oh, looks like found some more contaminated debris. Once it's gone, we will get things back to normal. We've got the last of the debris to calibrate our sensors. We need to get back to the tower ASAP.
I'll be right there. Supergirl said that we've got all the debris. That should help everyone here. Dreamer, we have to get to the tower. Here, take mine. Maybe we did miss something. Thank you. And was here sick the other night.
She looks fine now.
She's reading high levels of fifth-dimensional energy. We need to get her back to the tower.
So it must have been what they gave her, right? That was like an untested new kind of thing.
I'm hearing that there are still people in the hospital injured from the explosion.
All I can say is I feel great. I'm back on my feet.
What about all the people in that hospital?
I want to help the people of this community. I want to help you pull yourselves up by your own bootstraps.
It's not us who are the problem, it's you. And the whole system that supports you. The same system that puts us down while it tells us to pull ourselves up.
Whoa! Oh! Yes! Oh, damn! That's their move, pulling out a freaking baton. Oh, come on, Johnny, come on. Diggle's got it. Diggle's got it. There we go. Oh, God, Diggle. Seeing Diggle back in action. Oh, that's so good. Oh, God, Kelly, be careful. Oh! And she's got super strength. And she's got super strength.
Something wrong with you. You have to stop. I won't be stopped by you.
Oh, God. Oh. Oh, she looks so good in that. That's like a Mark 1. That's a Mark 1 appearance. Oh. Oh, she got hair. DNA. DNA. Yes, Kelly. Yes, Jelly Kelly. Oh, God, okay. Oh, God, such a good starting point. Such a good starting point.
We're gonna stop the person who did this.
I know that you were all trying to stop Nixley. I know. But do you hear me? Do you see what is happening? People are gonna die. And I feel like I am yelling into a void. We are supposed to fight for everyone together. And yet I am looking at people suffer, people that look like me. And everyone here is just too busy. Where is the outrage that people are gonna die without help? Maybe you could spare a second for them.
I had an opportunity to become a special kind of hero, but it would have meant me leaving Lila, my kids, and everything I love.
Oh, you mean he means the
So I
ring?
had to ask myself,
The ring?
what kind of hero do I really want to be?
I want to be an advocate for the people who have lost hope. For the people who have been failed by those meant to protect them. For the people who don't have heroes that look like them. Protecting those that are exhausted, so they don't have to fight every single day for themselves.
I love her so much. I love her so much.
Let that guide you.
I was just so desperately trying to catch Nixley because I knew she would cause more damage.
Yes, in the future. But while you all have the luxury of focusing on tomorrow, they are barely surviving today.
I don't know how I missed this. I really do care. Like when Agent Liberty was targeting aliens, I marched amongst the aliens.
But you are an alien.
Those are your people. Those are your
You
people.
were activated in a fight that was close to you. I mean, just like I was in the Heights. Sometimes you are gonna miss things because they are different than your lived experience. It doesn't necessarily make you a bad person, but we really need to hear each other.
What can I do to help?
Acknowledge that even you have blind spots. Hear me when I say that they need help. And support me in restoring some justice. I am gonna fight this fight.
You should. And you never should have had to do this alone. And I just feel so guilty.
I appreciate that.
Use that guilt to
But
do
guilt
some good.
isn't an active emotion.
Yeah.
It's about what you do next.
Yeah. Turn that guilt into choices. Good.
It's about how you change going forward.
I came to this planet as a Martian. And in my heart, I've always been more Martian than anything. I have chosen to wear the face of a black man for a very long time now. I could have changed races. Could have changed into someone else entirely. But I also realized that Kelly and James don't have the option to make that choice.
I need your help with that. The helmet needs
A remodeling?
some work.
A remodeling? Some
Sightlines
refurbishment?
aren't great, and more
Recoloring?
importantly, I have some other visibility ideas.
Oh, she's about to do
Waiting for
it.
this moment a very long time.
She's about to do it. Oh, wow, Brainy's already, he's been busy.
For quite a while.
He's been busy. Brainy boy's been busy.
And a few 31st century ideas I think you'll like.
Are we any better? Have we figured out any of this? Ending discrimination, racism. Please tell me we do.
I want to tell you it's all in the past.
Oh god, even in the
We have
31st
evolved
century?
past it all.
Really?
Even in the 31st century, we haven't.
Oh.
It is better in so many ways, but there are generational scars, and honestly, a lot of work still to be done.
Even in 31st, I mean, I feel like it's the easiest way for them to put that forward,
This time
but
we never had.
yeah.
You, as the Guardian, there's still time.
Oh, change the future, save the
I
future.
believe in you,
Yeah.
Kelly Olsen.
Kelly is the guardian. She's the key. She's the key. She is the moment. She is.
Now, tell me, what do you think about something flashy?
Gold and black. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give me that suit. Give me Guardian Kelly. Oh!
I know exactly what I'm doing.
Inject it, inject it, inject. You know what? Screw whatever the hell Rankin
You're
took.
not gonna hurt
Inject
the
this
city
into my
anymore.
veins. Inject
With this
it.
power, I can transform the city, sweep away the useless and the weak, and make it perfect.
Oh,
There's a thin line of sight between Rankin and the people she's drained in order to restore their energy.
I got it.
Protect the neighborhood, fan out!
I can't. I don't know if I can deal with this. I don't know if I can actually, if I can handle this. Oh boy. Dream shield. Nice. Dream shield. There we go. There we go. Yep. The hand of the soldier.
Trust should be earned. And when you've been wronged, nothing in you tells you to trust again. I'm just asking for a chance. A start to prove I'm different.
Gross.
What do you need?
Oh god, she's gonna ace this. She's gonna ace it. Oh jeez. Oh, up top. Yeah, sky high. I'm gonna be gushing over her for the rest of the episode, just so you guys, just so you know in advance. I'm gonna be gushing. I am gonna be gushing. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, no more fifth dimensional energy for you, Rankin. No more fifth dimensional energy for you.
This power doesn't belong to you.
Not in the slightest. So did that help Nixley too? Did that get power for her crystal too?
They think it will take time for people to recover, but they will.
Always eat your vegetables.
Oh, for the yeah. Look, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll always be here for you all. The cops got Rankin.
I guess justice is being served.
Sounds like the Heights is gonna need a new council member.
I'll think about it.
Those lived experiences would be powerful leadership skills.
Guardian.
James will be so proud to see you like this, working with the community. It reminds me of something Jefferson Pierce once said.
Ah, yeah, Black Lightning.
Don't be a hero to the people.
Yeah, Black Lightning.
Be a hero for the people.
Did they meet? Did John and... I think very briefly during Crisis. I don't remember them having any interactions. Unless he actually showed up in Black Lightning too. I haven't really caught up on Black Lightning that much. Yeah.
And if we're gonna work to fight oppression, we've got to do it together.
And I am so grateful that this is just the beginning of this conversation.
You fight supervillains, and the city needs that. It also needs someone who will be there for the people.
More street level heroes.
That's my fight. But I can't do it alone.
Neither can I. And I'm lucky to have you.
A new addition to the
And
Super
Buddy.
Friends. Yeah. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of her.
Worlds await.
Worlds away. Oh! Worlds away. Is that a Green Lantern hint? Is that a Green Lantern hint? That has to be. That has to be. Oh, oh that's so cool. Oh, does she keep a journal? She keeps a journal.
I feel like a valve has been released, and I have no control over my emotions, which is something I have always prided myself on. I am so tired. Yeah, and I can't process it all right now. Let me be, and don't push me to unpack it all right now, so it can be communicated for you. Hold the space and love me. And for now, just hold me.
Your skin, it glitters like gold. There's love inside your soul. Go.
Good. God. Oh my god. So yeah, this episode. This gosh darn episode. Just the amount of effort that's gone into this cannot easily be missed. You know, the amount of effort that's gone into like an accurate kind of storytelling perspective, an accurate portrayal of all sorts of different things. It's just Ozzy has poured her heart and soul into making this episode like the best version of what it can be, and it really shows. It really shows, and everything, and just wow. So yeah, David Ramsey direction was phenomenal. It was phenomenal, and I think you can definitely tell, it was a very, very effective and very, very clear kind of collaborative effort between them, of both of them maybe having like their own individual points they want to tell, but also like pretty much like 9 times out of 10 just actually getting along and actually getting across like the actual point they wanted and everything. And like some of the camera work in this was just really really well done. Some of the shots in this and some of the zoom outs and like the perspectives and everything was actually really well done. So hats off to David for that. And then I think in that regard, I mean, it's going to be different for Superman Lois, but I think in that regard, I definitely kind of have higher hopes for seeing the kind of work he's done on that show and everything. So that's cool. But yeah, and I think I think first thing I actually do kind of want to mention, like just like a quick point in terms of John Diggle. I think I love that his presence in this was not overshadowing in any way at all. Like at no point did the shift of the episode, did the focus of the episode or my kind of focus on the episode actually shift towards Diggle. Like he was there, he showed up, and that was a cool surprise. I genuinely, I think part of me was kind of expecting it, was kind of low key expecting it, but I think I wasn't holding out hope. I wasn't really waiting for him. I didn't really kind of see that part coming. But then when he actually did show up, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then he is actually like a lot more directly involved with the episode behind the scenes, so then his appearance then in that case actually is somewhat less surprising and actually does make more sense. But even when he's here, he's just like he's the like enough of the same old John Diggle that we know and love from Arrow and from various other Arrowverse appearances and everything. But I think even then he shows up as a helping hand. He doesn't show up with the ring. He doesn't show up with like his Spartan suit. He doesn't suit up. He just kind of is John Diggle, and he just kind of kicks ass regardless too. He's just kind of that kind of character, and he just shows up as a helping hand. He's been contacted by James. I think I pretty much I actually kind of forgot that he actually did move to Metropolis with Lyle. I think that it was mentioned that it was mentioned I think in the finale of Arrow, in the actual series finale of Arrow, he actually mentioned that he was actually moving with the family to Metropolis and taking stuff with him. So pretty much everyone went their separate ways after Arrow. So that was that. But then I did actually kind of forget that he actually did move to Metropolis. So that was like a nice reminder of like, oh yeah, that's like that's where he's at. And everything, so that was cool. So he showed up. He didn't show up with the ring, didn't show up with anything. He just showed up as pure John Diggle in like his casual kind of leather jacket and everything, and just kind of showing up as a helping hand. And he was contacted by James too, like him being in Metropolis, and James kind of because last time we even heard about James, he actually was in that kind of like that smaller town where all the kind of dodgy prison stuff was happening, and he actually took over from the actual. He took over from the kind of journalist kind of like the paper the newspaper company there. So he took over from there, and he actually wanted to start telling stories there and start trying to fix things there too. So I was kind of surprised to know that him and James have contact. But then I think him being in Metropolis, maybe he heard about James from someone else, and then James kind of helped him get set up there or something. So I don't know. But either way, they know each other. That's cool. So then James, having received the voicemail from Kelly earlier, he knew something was up, but then he couldn't do it himself, so he decided to send the next best man that he knows, which is John Diggle himself. So to see him there was really cool, and seeing him being able to come in and help and just kind of just being himself, being kind of there on the side, and actually and it's like it's not necessarily, I think it's not even necessarily that he was actually kind of like pushed into being a side character, but that he showed up and he was just there to help. He didn't want to take over. He didn't want to get in the way of Kelly doing her thing or the team doing their thing. He just kind of wanted to see what he could do. He was just willing to offer like any kind of hand, big or small. So seeing him in that regard was really cool. And I think it's been a long time since I've actually seen him in anything. So seeing him again here was very, very refreshing. I think he did mention that he actually has spoken to Jefferson Pierce as well. So I think I haven't caught up on Black Lightning. I really should. I think it was actually like a month ago I restarted season 3 because I think I had started season 3 in my kind of binge of the show that I did like about a year ago and everything, but then I actually kind of fell off the bandwagon like after starting season 3. I didn't really get far in, so it was easy to restart. But I think it was like about a month ago or a few weeks ago that I actually kind of restarted season 3, so I'm kind of slowly working my way through that. And I think and Black Lightning has always been a great CW show. It's always been really, really enjoyable and really fun. So yes, I think I couldn't really think of any interaction or like any kind of view, like not a viewing, but like any kind of meeting that John had actually had with Jefferson besides from Crisis. I think Crisis was where all of them came in, even ones from other dimensions and everything. So that was the only time I can remember. But then I remember like post Crisis, so now all the universes are into one, so it's a lot more easier for them to run into each other. And I think I was like, okay, and also I actually haven't actually I haven't caught up on Black Lightning yet, so I can't really kind of, say whether or not they met, so I'm just going to have to assume they have, that they've maybe crossed over onto there, or maybe he's shown up somewhere there, so that'd be like a really great show for him to actually pop up in, so that's cool. And I think Black Lightning also ended too. I think Black Lightning ended with season 4, so I don't know if it's already ended, or if like season 4's already aired, or if it's finished, or what's happened, but I think I did hear that they actually decided to, I think it was like actually on their own terms too. It was it wasn't the CW kind of cancelling them out of nowhere, but rather like the writers and everyone involved deciding like, okay, season 4 seems like a good place to end it while we still have power and quality writing and everything. So there's that. So I think I'm guessing it must have been in season 3 later. I think probably season 4 or 3 that he showed up and maybe had a thing. So he's he's been in touch with Jefferson. He's kind of been getting like different kind of like philosophies and mantras from him. So that's cool, and he actually used them here too. So yeah, John was great. John Diggle was great, and I think even that ending, he did say worlds away. And I think he mentioned that. I think he did mention like he never mentioned being Spartan. He never brought the suit in, like no kind of reference to him being Spartan in this episode at all. But he did mention that he actually got like a calling to become a higher hero, to become like a bigger hero. So I think initially I thought like, wait, but you were already Spartan. So I think you already took on that role and everyone knew about it, but then I remembered, oh yeah, wait, but he got the ring. I mean, we never even saw the ring, but he got that box. He got the glowing green box that, could only mean one thing. So he got that calling. But then he mentioned he thought about what it would mean for him, because then he could eventually be Green Lantern on Earth, but then initially it would mean actually leaving Earth for God knows how long. It would mean leaving Lila behind, leaving the kids behind, his home, his life that he knows so well and everything. So it would mean like a very, very big change that he likely wasn't ready for, and he didn't really think that his family was ready for. So then he mentioned he then had to decide exactly what kind of hero he wanted to be, what kind of hero he needed to be. So he hasn't actually taken up that calling yet. But then the end of the episode, as he goes into the elevator, he says worlds await. So that has to be a reference to the actual Lantern thing. So I think, yeah, I think I've seen people wondering like if they were going to go forward at all with the whole Green Lantern stuff, if they're going to give him his own show or do something with it. But I think so far I haven't really heard anything about it. But then I literally haven't even heard one mention of John Diggle on Twitter. Like John Diggle and Green Lantern are not any kind of keywords or phrase, or it's not any kind of content I've had to actually mute on my Twitter or any social media. I just haven't heard anyone asking for it. I've heard people asking for it like after it actually happened, like way back after the finale actually happened. But then it's like nowadays it's mostly like like the odd mention here and there, but like no official kind of teasers or plans or development announcements from any networks or anything. So yeah, I'm wondering maybe if that's. I'm also wondering maybe if I can't imagine it's not something that David himself would want to pursue, but maybe right now he's kind of getting his foot in with directing. Maybe he's actually focusing more on it, because I think he was a fantastic John Diggle for 8 years, so, and eight like seasons of Arrow. So I think maybe after that he kind of wants to take a break from the actual acting side of things before jumping into it, because even then jumping into Green Lantern would be a big thing for him. So I'm wondering maybe if that's like his decision to actually kind of put a hold on it for now, but then kind of like leaving little teasers and stuff here and there. So either way, it's cool. So having John in this was really, really great, and having him just kind of be there for Kelly and be by her side and actually listening and helping and even fighting, even his combat was still maintained. So seeing him kind of jumping back into action with little to no kind of equipment, just his good old fashioned techniques and his own training was really fun. So that was great. John Diggle. Always loved some John Diggle. So yeah. And yeah, so then they actually did, I think they explored it as one aspect of like many other aspects kind of leading into one kind of great story for the episode. But I think one aspect they did tackle that I don't know if they've specifically done before, if they've actually done it to this extent before, but I think they did also kind of tackle like the whole kind of idea of like, collateral damage in the aftermath of like a great big superhero battle. And I think it's one of the most common arguments, and it's like stuff people have discussed before, and movies have been made about it before, and different stories have been tackled. But I think in this one there is like it's one factor that actually kind of like contributes to a much more major problem that's very, very prevalent in the world, and in Kelly's world especially. So when they actually showed the Ormfeld thing happening, and then Joey being with his friend and being on the phone, actually kind of being caught in the crossfire and everything, I think, and especially like people within, because I think I didn't actually know if they had actually opened up the build, like in the episode, well, in the ending they originally showed that, I actually didn't know if they had actually like readily opened it up to people, or if people were still inside, or if maybe if maybe it was actually still kind of like needed work to be done, because I think it went through, so then Okoye couldn't actually get the building, but then I wondered but then that doesn't initially mean that doesn't immediately mean that it's safe for living in, so maybe stuff still it needs cleaning, or stuff still needs to be built or refurbished or whatever. So I think I really wasn't expecting there to be anyone inside or anything like that. But then even for Joey and his friend, for Aisha, they were still within proximity of damage, and they were still pretty much right near the building. So them kind of being hurt definitely made sense in that regard. So yeah, and then like people inside and outside just kind of being caught in the crossfire of Nixley's kind of magic and everything, and actually just being hit by the smoke and the rubble, and actually and all the dust coming in from it too. And I think especially because of like it being magic that brought the thing down, that kind of poisoning them too, and that kind of and them kind of in that essence, them kind of being like almost like batteries, just kind of like after Councilwoman Rankin actually does her gets her own powers, they essentially just to kind of become batteries over time that she can siphon energy off of and do all that kind of shit with. So yeah, and then then the Ormfeld collapsed, then hospitals were overrun, and they were low on resources and stuff, and all the people hurt being people of color, and being from a low income community, and being like the victims of all the things that society just overlooks, and the council in that area were overlooking too. It just kind of makes things even worse for them, and Hope is an all-time low. So I think this kind of story and I think this kind of setting just kind of gave Kelly the chance to really shine and show just how much she's going through as a person too. Because I think one thing I definitely appreciated, and I think I'm almost ashamed to say that I actually never properly considered before this episode, was that I think, because I mean it's always been like a fleeting thought, but I think the kind of fact that they actually explore it that much more in this episode too is actually all the more important to actually note, and it's the fact that Kelly is still a human. I think I am definitely what I think, I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm definitely like one of the people who kind of prides and praises Kelly for how kind of strong she is, and how courageous and how optimistic and hopeful she is, and how much she actually inspires hope in other people. But then this episode, it definitely showed us a vulnerability and an openness to Kelly that I just can't say how much I appreciate. Ozzy for showing us that side, and actually for showcasing that side too, and actually showing that she is still human. And I think and I think the cost of maintaining that side of her, the side that always smiles, the side that always tries to give a big speech and always tries to make sure other people are okay, the cost of maintaining that side of her is just, as she said, it's exhausting, it's tiring, it's traumatizing, and she's lived with that trauma for years and years, and she's lived with the trauma of having to always having to put on a smile, always having to try and put up a front, put up and actually having to bottle her own emotions and her own trauma and her own kind of setbacks away, and actually making sure that she doesn't let it get the better of her, for fear of actually it having all sorts of negative backlash, and it just kind of having more consequences and having more kind of setbacks after that matter too. So her showing us that side of Kelly was just the most kind of meaningful and the most kind of powerful thing, and actually showing that Kelly, again, she's still human. She she needs more than anything, she needs to know that she has people in her, people to back her up. She as much as she strives to be able to help other people up and help other people actually be able to be okay too. She needs that just as much as they do. She's not some kind of self-sustaining beacon of hope. She needs her own wind down, but then she also needs people to understand where she's coming from and understand that she's helping these people because their problems are her problems in many more ways than one, and she only kind of she's only able to go that far because she knows what it's like to actually be on the receiving end of all these different kinds of things, and she knows how important it is to help where you can, but also actually seeing traumas and struggles that she can relate to. It's not for her, it's damn near impossible for her to look past it. or to actually not do at least something. Even if she can't do everything, she will be damned if she can't do something. And I think that is exactly what makes her a hero in that regard too, in a much more personal regard. And I think it's again like I think priding her for being a hero as Kelly Olsen is one thing. But then as Kelly Olsen too, I think that is when she's the most human. When she's Kelly Olsen, when she's we're not wearing the suit, when she's just at home, when she's actually going around being Kelly, that is when she's the most human, and that is when she's most vulnerable too. So Kazi actually managing to highlight that in this episode was nothing short of phenomenal. So yeah. And I think seeing that slow build up of her exhaustion too, and her exhaustion towards the team, her exhaustion and her just kind of her reaching the breaking point with the team too, was just it was tough to watch. But then I think it's, and I think again I would say I think it's easy to say, oh, it doesn't make sense for her to break now when stuff like this has happened before. But then again, that's exactly what she pointed out, the fact that she usually pushes that stuff aside for the sake of actually solving the problem at hand. But then with this one, it's just like like everyone has a limit, everyone has a breaking point. I think this episode like perfectly highlights this is what Kelly's is, and she can't really take much more. And especially it's harder to actually take one that's from your own team, people that you trust to have your back, to understand you, to listen, and everything. I think what they highlight in this one is that the team is so used and so adapted to handling stuff that's not from Earth, because again, because they deal with stuff that's alien and otherworldly and extraterrestrial all the damn time, and they're so used to dealing with that and dealing with stuff it's like sky high. But then when it actually comes down to deeper, more kind of like darker rooted and more kind of more like rooted in darkness, rooted in like more street level stuff and more personal, more human issues. That's when Kelly naturally steps in. But then what she didn't expect was to not have everyone else be able to step in with her, or actually be willing or have the time to step in with her. But then they were also focused on Nixley focusing, and it's and especially like her line too, her line is her line being you all have the luxury of worrying about and focusing about tomorrow, but then there are people today dealing with the damage of yesterday, but then you all have the luxury of dealing with the issues and potential problems of tomorrow, because then they naturally think about what comes next. They actually think about okay, we didn't stop her this time, that's our mistake, that's our fault, so we'll just get her next time she strikes. But then what's actually happened from the time that she struck previously, all the people who are hurt and all the people who are actually still suffering and dying, and it's all people that society easily overlooks and doesn't really provide adequate resources to actually try and look after and everything. And it's like kids like Orlando, all of the kids like Joey, even kids like Joey, who don't really have a hero like themselves that they can actually look up to. They don't have many heroes who actually stop by and see how they're doing. And they don't have heroes who actually who always have seem to have the time to actually check in and see how he's doing, or see what kind of problems he's going in. And stuff, because again, I think for phase 1 too, it's like a medical issue too. So I think I think Supergirl, the team, I think can't really imagine themselves actually going into hospitals to check on people, because then they're too kind of hyper focused on actually focusing on Nixley and actually kind of wondering and waiting for her and actually wondering for her to actually see when she's gonna strike next. But Kelly doesn't have that chance. Kelly doesn't have that luxury of waiting, but she has to actually, especially, and again, especially when she can actually see all the stuff that's happening now, she can't stand idly by. So then actually seeing that kind of thing build up over time too, every time she tried to talk to Kara, and it just new fifth dimensional energy spikes and stuff would happen, and then she'd have to go chase that little Nixie and Nixley, and then even when it comes to Alex too, you would think that, oh, maybe this time she'll actually have a more lengthy conversation, and she'll actually be able to get something out of her. But then she just gets an immediate call from Supergirl again, oh, I've chased down the little Nixley, and now we have something. So then Alex has to go, Sentinel has to go, and then Dreamer. I think I was hoping at least for some kind of a conversation between Dreamer and Alex, Dreamer and Kelly even, because then come on, they teased us with I think it's not just the fact that they teased us with a friendship back in season 4 or season 5 even, and nothing happened. But then it's just the fact that at least Dreamer, come on, let's do something. I think. And again, that's meant to be the point that none of them seem to have the time for her. none of them seem to have time for anything besides from Nixley, and then that's precisely the point. They're all waiting for someone who's about to strike, but then the people who suffered from the time she already struck at are still, they still need tending to, they still need, like, someone there who they can trust and actually keep an eye on them and everything. And also, like, the whole kind of issue with of heroes actually saying that, oh yeah, don't worry, we'll stop her and make that villain pay for what they did and actually sort out everything, and then they just kind of fly off and they're never to be seen again. So it's just like all the different kind of like things and all the different kind of issues of neglect and issues of like of half promises and empty promises that they make and keep are just really well explored in this episode. So yeah. And then I think, that all, of course, culminates into her final kind of outburst to the team and actually kind of telling them that, what, like, not so much that what, like, a mixture of what they're doing isn't enough, but also the fact that, again, like, it's that same thing, the same line, like, like, they all have the luxury of waiting for tomorrow, and it's like, like, they all kind of, have the luxury of actually being heroes that show up, get the job done, and then leave ASAP afterwards. But then actually, I think in terms of community outreach, they have next to nothing. Like, they have. I think that's also the thing too. Like, the Super Friends have. Even now it's like Andrea is actually trying to foster. Like, Andrea. She's doing it also from a business standpoint. But then even then, like, what Andrea is doing is even more like it's already more than what the Super Friends have actually tried to do. Like, actually fostering any kind of personal connection with the community. By actually promoting them and actually getting like interviews with them, actually having them talk. But then even then, for the people on the street, for the people at the heart of the city, like that wouldn't be enough for them. Like for them, it's like they, and even kids, especially. I think the kids would definitely just have that much more like an innocence to them, where like they easily kind of like catch Supergirl flying by or catch Dreamer doing something or Sentinel or something, like just doing anything, but then actually like having like little to no one-on-one time, actually talking to their heroes and actually seeing what they think and what they really like, and then they even dress up as them and everything. But then like the team just kind of has no kind of actual kind of eye over the people in the city they're protecting. They don't really have like an eye for them. They don't have deep enough of an eye for them, deep enough to focus on them, actually making sure that they're okay in the aftermath of the battles that they fight and everything, and actually ensuring that even the people that the rest of society overlooks actually has like an equal and fair chance at living like a happy, healthy, safe kind of life as well. So then her final outburst definitely was kind of justified, and just seeing Ozzy just burst open like that too. Just Ozzy just unleashing everything. Really makes you wonder like how much of that could also be Ozzy too, actually her drawing from her own personal experiences in life too, and actually her actually kind of like being able to actually grow up seeing characters that she could relate to and grow up seeing heroes that she could relate to, but now she finally gets the chance to not only be that in a positive way, but also actually to actually be that in like a much more human, much more vulnerable way, and actually like telling a story that actually means a lot to her, and actually that scene alone just kind of shows just how much she's been holding back and just how much she's actually been containing. So, just, yeah. And then I think also like the conversations that come after it too. And I think pretty much all of them are good, but all of them are important. All of them are good. And I think especially the first one being Kara's one. The first one being Diggle's one actually. I think Diggle's one was really good. Like him actually saying that like what she did in there was it was fine. It was justified. It was understandable. Like he of all people could definitely tell where I was coming from, and him even mentioning that he's carried a lot of that same kind of trauma on his back, and he's had to do the same thing himself, actually bottling it up. Actually, not just like not necessarily just bottling it up, but for him, he learned that they don't get the black people of color don't get the that kind of privilege of actually showing that they're exhausted, or actually saying they're exhausted, or actually like letting themselves be exhausted, and actually actually taking the time to be exhausted, because then when they're exhausted, the world then moves on, and the same problems just keep on happening, and then solutions don't come about. So then and I think him actually and then that being his advice of she has to use that exhaustion for something. She has to use that kind of pain, that kind of that energy or even lack thereof for something. She still has to try and do something, and I think it's just like it's kind of it's painful to hear those words too. Like even when you're like tired of seeing everything going on around you, like you have to be the change in the most kind of even more consuming way possible as well. And actually hearing him kind of like say that, I think it definitely wasn't meant to be like it definitely wasn't meant to be a tough love kind of thing. It definitely wasn't meant to be like big whoop, like things are bad and things are hard and you have to keep pushing it, like you have to keep pushing anyway, like it definitely wasn't that kind of speech, but it was definitely more like you have to be the change you want to see in the world, and you definitely have to kind of push to be that change. You have to push to make it easier for future generations to at least not have to at least be able to open up and actually be able to actually open up without ridicule and open up without fear of being judged for it or being like pushed aside or kind of like demeaned or belittled for it and stuff, and actually open up and actually like hopefully have an easier time dealing with these kind of with these kind of pains in the future too. And actually hearing John kind of being able to actually give her that speech, and actually John being the first one to be there and actually tell her that was really good to see. So yeah. And then the next conversation she has with Supergirl, with Kara, with Kara Zor-El, not just Kara in the Supergirl suit, but with Kara Zor-El at her heart too. That one was good. I think it's very interesting, varied perspectives too. And I think especially with Kara too. I think she I think Kara like immediately bringing up that kind of comparison of her having jumped to the aid of fellow aliens and aliens living in National City when Agent Liberty and his people are attacked, and then I think it's like I think it's not even that Kara herself should be judged for that. I think I don't fully think she should. I think she's doing what she can do in that moment, and she's actually drawing on her own most personal experience. But then, of course, as expected and as would need to be done, Kelly is then telling her like, yeah, sure, okay, so you dealt with that, but then that is your own personal experience. That personal experiences can vary, but then acknowledging that, but then also understanding that other experiences are important too is what's important. So with Kara, she understood that because it's where she comes from. People that don't all look like her, but then people who come from the exact same walks of life because of the fact that they don't look like her, but then they don't look like humans either. That's why that fight was important to her. That's why that fight mattered to her. So then she needs to apply that exact same logic to humans or to black people, to people of color, to all people from all different kind of like minority walks from life as well. And Kelly actually pointed out. I think even to me that actually just came as like an instinctive kind of like a reflex kind of response. You're like, yeah, sure, okay, you had that same struggle too, but then that was your people, that was your kind of underprivileged kind of walk of life. That was your own kind of thing. And I think, and especially I think like for that one too, it's like it's a more. I think it's definitely like a more outlandish and like a more like a very very kind of understandable approach, but with like a more outlandish and kind of otherworldly, like literally otherworldly kind of subject matter too. Like with this one, like them kind of adapting racial issues and discrimination issues, but then putting literal kind of alien refugees in that place. And I think even watching it back then, I thought, okay, this is like an actual interesting way to actually explore that too. Actually, like going one step further, and because again, it is a sci-fi show. It is definitely still a sci-fi show, so you can't really expect it to happen any other way. And I think that is also the best way, like one of the best ways they could have done it too. Actually, incorporating that kind of thing into sci-fi too. And I think it's definitely in the history of the comics and in the history of the characters too. Like them actually fighting to actually fighting for that kind of justice for people who are like them in all sorts of different ways. So that was good. But then Kelly actually rightfully giving her that speech of like, you have to, like see that, like see those same issues, but in in the light of other people's kind of backgrounds and histories too, and just like that kind of conversation about like varied experiences and actually like paying attention to all of them and not just the ones that apply to you was just really really well done. So yeah. And then the one at the end, the one at the very end with Alex, that one came into, and I think that one again like a lot more human and like a lot more kind of black and white. Ironically enough, I don't even know if that's the the right kind of terminology to apply here, but then it's also it's undeniably like the more human one, the more human, the more common one you'd have, the far more common conversation you'd have, and Alex actually being like you'd like admitting it. I think especially after it's actually explained to her by Jean too. And I think Jean's one too. Jean's one really kind of struck a chord with me too. And it's like, you know, like him even saying like, you know, like him being a Martian, he would then understand the same kind of alien refugee thing. And I think for him too, he was like an alien refugee. He lost his home, he lost his family, everything. So he came here in like similar-ish kind of manners to Kara too. So then, by that count, he'd come from Kara's walk of life. But then he did like for years, I think pretty much like the first kind of human face he took on was that of Hank Henshaw, who was a black man. So and he even acknowledging that, you know, like since that day, he's actually been been wearing that same face with him for years, and he's seen what people who look like Hank have been treated, how people who look like Hank and look like him now have been treated. And even him actually acknowledging that he has that luxury of actually transforming into anyone else. He has the luxury of actually transforming and looking like anyone else. Actually, pretty much choosing a different path and choosing like a path that would actually treat him better. But then for him, it's like, you know, he knows that he has come to actually see and understand the struggle of people who have that skin color. Then they don't have, like Kelly and James, John, like anyone else they've met, they don't have that privilege, they don't have the luxury, and it's like, you know, it shouldn't even be something that they should have to consider to actually have any semblance of like an easier life. They can't change, but then they shouldn't have to either. So I think for him, then that is also the kind of ideals that he's going to live in mind too. Like, you know, like he is going to do good, he's going to fight, he's going to live his life, and he's going to try and do the best he can. But then looking like this too, because then, you know, like if they can't change, then he's not going to change either. And it's like, you know, like him trying to fight the fight in that kind of way too. So, but then Alex is one too. Alex being explained to, being kind of like helped to understand by Jean that, you know, she may never. I think. And to be fair, Alex has gone through like her own kind of struggles too as a gay woman too, like her repressing like that side of her for years, and like her sexuality for years, and her true self for years, and finally coming to terms with it in ways that were I think were kind of like a mixture of painful and revelational too. But then in terms of race, yeah, Alex would never truly come to understand like exactly what Kelly's kind of pains or traumas or struggles were. I think and you know, like her just even then her telling Kelly afterwards that, you know, she may never understand, she doesn't fully kind of like see or relate to it now, and she definitely won't ever relate to it, and she definitely and she may not ever like truly understand it down to the details that, you know, like that she might need to, or that she might want to. But then deep down she does still, just out of pure innate human compassion, but then also because Kelly is the love of her life and she wants to actually be there for her and actually spend the rest of her life with her and everything. She does still kind of she wants to help in any way that she can. She wants to be there in any way that she can and everything. And then of course after that too, Kelly's kind of speech of hers actually like telling her just let her be, just listen to her when she talks, and actually try and help, and actually try and, you know, understand it in the best way that she can, actually do this, that, and the other, and doing all that stuff. Just like that kind of final scene too, just I don't know any better way that they could actually pulled off this story from start to finish. I don't know any better, more accurate, more kind of reflective way that they could actually pull off the story and pulled off this kind of character. This kind of character-driven story of Kelly's too, and just, you know, just knowing how much work they've actually put into this, and how much work the RZ herself has put into this, and working with David to make sure they actually came out the way that it did. And seeing that ending of Kelly getting ready for the night and actually just settling in, and then actually and she has a journal too. I mean, after this episode, I just, God fucking knows what's in that journal. But you know, all the thoughts she has. I think part of me wonders, like, maybe that stuff is the key to understanding everything that she's actually gone through before this. Now, because I think like this episode, it's pretty much just visual proof. It's just visual kind of evidence of all the stuff that she's really going through. But then that journal, you know, dating back to her first appearance in season 4. You know, it might just be, you know, it might just hold all the different kind of darkness and like all the kind of dark, you know, like maybe she either vents to James or she vents to the journal. Like her journal is pretty much the key to finding out exactly what's really been going on in her head and in her life, like behind all the smiles and behind all the kind of hopeful and compassionate kind of like, you know, different speeches and different kind of interactions she had with different characters like throughout the show. But then that journal might just hold the truth to, you know, who she is, what she's been through, and how she's been struggling with it, and how she's been dealing with it. I think I'm hoping she has like a therapist or a counselor or someone else like professional that she's been able to. I mean, I'm hoping she's actually found adequate resources for that herself. But then otherwise, because then otherwise it's just gonna be like it's gonna be like an additional nail to the coffin of, like, you know, people like her don't really get the help that they need because society, you know, like society is the cause, and it's also then like in like just kind of like the ones who hold back and actually let them kind of deal with it on their own and everything. So, and then yeah, we had the antagonist and the villain of this story, Councilwoman Rankin. I didn't even know if they could actually. I think, you know what, I mean, I didn't really want to know if they could make them worse. I didn't know if they were actually planning on making her worse, but apparently this episode was the. Well, I think, you know, I think also given the story, given the background and story of this episode, I think it makes perfect sense that they would actually go that far. But then, damn, she could get a whole lot worse. She could get a whole lot. I think people like that too, with more power than they have, they can only do worse. They can only do more damage, and that's exactly what they intend to do. So, you know, with her, it's like, you know, I think definitely like her. I think from the beginning, right, from her first visit to the hospital to her, from her initial impressions at the hospital to her, like her being like, you know, not here. I was expecting something much more higher class, something more VIP. Like, I am Councilwoman Rankin. I am a rich white woman. I deserve the absolute very best that medical science has to offer. Like, her just immediately rejecting the nearest medical facility and actually like guising it under like, oh, I wouldn't want to take any precious beds from these poor people. For her, it would be emphasis on poor, among other things. But then, yeah, I think from that point onwards, I just had the worst of instincts about her, the worst, like, most dodgiest of feelings, and I was like, okay, I'm really not gonna like where this is going. But then, hopefully they end there. Hopefully, it's just a display of ego and pride and kind of, you know, like wealth and all that kind of crap. And hopefully, they don't like force us to endure more of her shit. But what do they do afterwards? They force us to endure more of her shit. So yeah, so then she does get exactly the kind of privatized kind of ward that she so eagerly yearns for, and then even then it's like, you know, oh, like her treatments are pretty much like happening at the same rate as yours, and even for her, like, you know, like her work is making other people's lives more of a misery, so then she can't possibly let anything happen that might bring a stop to that or bring like a halt to that or slow it down anyway. Like for her, it's like, oh, I've got to get back to work. I've got, you know, more buildings to gentrify and more, you know, like communities to outlaw and perish and you know, like actually rebuild with industrialism and all that kind of shit. So then for her, it's like, you know, she can't let anything get in the way of that work and for her work and everything. So then she demands that, you know, like especially and like even bribing the doctor to, like, you know, if this hospital, if your chief and if your superiors want those medical grants coming in that would get them more resources and get them higher quality equipment, then you're gonna give me the best of what you got. And then for that, like the best of what we got is the best of what they got is the untested kind of drug that would probably help her kind of speed up her recovery and everything and stuff. And then apparently that same kind of drug acts as some kind of booster for the fifth dimensional energy that's already in her system the same way it's in everyone else's system. But then because she's the one who gets it, then that kind of combination of their stuff kind of turns her into a siphon of energy, and so then I think she does actually get the same kind of powers. I was wondering where those powers would come from, but then those powers also definitely make sense for fifth dimensional energy beings too, and then she temporarily is one. So then she is able to magically manifest anything in her hand, whether it's a sandwich or even stacks of cash, like we saw later on. Like anything she imagines, anything she thinks of, she can easily manifest it. But then actually using that power then does also actually drain other people fifth dimensional energy stuff in them. So even like her bodyguard and like people in the hospital, and even Joey is all actually slowly dying because of it too. So she turned into the worst. I think the more she started to understand her powers too, then it became even worse too. I think the first time maybe she thought it might have been like her getting better might have just been a chance, or maybe just her actually kind of feeling this new rush of power and feeling this new rush of energy that came from the drug. But then after the sandwich and after the cash, she definitely started to imagine more that it was just her power now. She could just like think of anything and she could instantly manifest in her hand. So she can just absolutely like the worst person, the worst kind of person in the show right now, the worst person in the episode, the worst person in that environment, getting the most idealistic and most kind of treasured power of all. So powers definitely are disastrous in the wrong hands, and this episode goes to prove it. So yeah. And also Kelly's first initial suit up too. Kelly's first suit up as Guardian. I mean that scene as a whole too. Like Orlando going out to actually confront Councilwoman Rankin, actually actually confronting her with the truth and questioning her circumstances. But then accurate reflection. But then out of nowhere, like I didn't even know how many security guards were around her at the time. I didn't really kind of count how many. I think I maybe one or two or something. But then for all we know, for her, there could have been more. Then out of nowhere, a security guard comes out, whips out whips out a baton and goes to strike Orlando. I mean that, if anything, that should just count as unaggravated assault, if there is such a charge. And I know there's aggravated. There has to kind of be like an opposite to that, like an unaggravated assault, or just like a simple kind of assault charge. Because then Orlando was in no way confrontational, no way. Like he was if anything, he was maintaining social distancing. He was like good 5-10 feet away, or meters, whichever one. He was a good distance away. He was in no way confrontational. He had no weapons on him. He was, I mean, we know why that happened. We know for a fact why that happened. But still, it's like it's that is just another pitch perfectly reflective kind of aspect of how things are in the world today, and just kind of seeing that happen on screen too, just really kind of took me back. I think as soon as he whipped out the baton, as soon as he whipped out the stick thing, I was like, okay, oh god, where the hell is this going? And then he goes straight in for the strike against Orlando. I was like, this bitch, the audacity of this bitch, just wow. Okay, so they go there, they went there, they definitely went there, and then Kelly comes in with the shield. I think that is the best way to deflect that kind of possible kind of danger and damage coming in. Is that Kelly jumping in with a shield, helmet on, was coming in as the new Guardian, like barely stood up, like that was Mark 1. That was Mark 1 if I get it, just like that simple jacket, and then she dons the helmet. Because I think John, as they were exiting the hospital, John did actually tell her to suit up, but then I clocked that, and I was like, wait, suit up? Wait, is she gonna jump out with the gold now, or is she gonna do what? Because then I then forgot that oh wait, no, the helmet that she got was still in black and grey and everything. So then. Yes, and her jumping with the shield. Then I was like, oh, okay, so this is Mark 1. This is phase 1 of her suit. So then she comes in with the shield, and she goes in, and then she chases down Councilwoman Rankin too. And I think she definitely holds her own. She definitely holds her own, and definitely kind of does what she can. But then ultimately she is overpowered by then the Superman and now superpowered being as well. So and now she even has super strength too. She had super strength and teleportation too, so she could even manifest herself wherever she wanted. So that was the thing. But then seeing Kelly go up against Councilwoman Rankin for the first time was definitely a sight to behold, and then of course John kind of stays back and he takes on the security guard, takes them out with ease. That was just beautiful, just art. But yeah, just damn, god damn. But then oh god, that final suit up. I think it's especially after the conversation she had with Brainy too. I think I think even what Brainy says too, like, well, I kind of feel like on the one hand it's like something that maybe they feel they have to say, because then otherwise it could just be like it could almost be like oh, this didn't really age well kind of thing. Like if they say, because if they say that it has actually it's been erased completely, and the world and the world is much brighter and much happier and much safer now, and then fast forward, we won't be here, but then fast forward into the 31st century, people looking back at classic television and being like, oh well, how fucking wrong they were. Like on the one hand it could be that, but then also on the other hand it could be on on the other hand, I don't really know. I mean, because he did say that changes have been made, things have still been happening. People that we need in power are still in power, are now in power. Like the fight is still being fought, but then things really aren't better. And then and deep down, it's just depressing to hear. Like, oh, 31st fucking century and discrimination, racism, any kind of discrimination overall. But then of course, applicable to mostly to Kelly's situation too. Racism still just apparently still a thing for whatever fucking reason. Apparently still a thing. I think part of me would definitely kind of wishes that they would have actually explored any kind of homophobia that Kelly might have because that she might have, because I think she did mention before that she wasn't open in the army. She's like when she mentioned her fiance in the army to Alex in season 4, she did actually mention she mentioned that they weren't open to them because of that. They were like a lot more secretive, no one really knew. So then because of that they had like a semi relatively easy time going about their relationship because no one knew. But then I do wonder maybe if Kelly had like a similar backstory to Alex where she didn't know as a child but she still repressed it, or she maybe did know at a young age or at an earlier age and she was still repressed it, and then she wasn't really able to be open about it even as like an adult, even having to maintain secret stuff, secret relationships as an adult. So maybe I think I kind of wish that they actually would have explored the issues like her sexuality has actually made her forced her to endure as well. There was not really much of a mention of that at all. I mean the focus here being on racism was definitely kind of understandable, definitely appreciated and respected. But then I mean I can't just help but wonder if she's also experienced added baggage because that, or maybe if it's because I think maybe if she hasn't, maybe just an explanation of what maybe an explanation of what she did to avoid going through that. Maybe for her, knowing she was a black woman too, being that kind of discrimination being bad enough. So then she figured that and also actually looking around her and seeing how LGBTQ people are just kind of treated in general, maybe be okay, maybe now it's best just to stay closeted and just actually kind of keep that to herself, because I think she definitely wouldn't need that added baggage or trauma in her life either. So an exploration of that would have been nice. But I think what we got in this was still amazing, was still kind of great to see. But then I think I'm sorry, I can't put that kind of statement from Brainy being I think especially the fact that he hesitated made me think oh god, don't you say it, don't you fucking say it, don't you say it's still kind of prevalent, still around and stuff. And he's things are better. I think the same way some stuff is better now than it was before, things are still better in the 21st century. But then he is still sad to say things haven't changed enough to say that they have changed. They things haven't changed enough to say that stuff is better or anything or different. So it's just just hearing that is just one of the most depressing things. And I think again it's a fiction show too, but then hearing that in a show, I don't know if it really gives you much hope for the future of actual reality too. In our world, what are things going to be like in the 31st century? Will discrimination be over? Will people be treated fairly and equally, and everyone accepted and respected and acknowledged for who they are without repercussion? Or these are all basic. This is all basic shit. This is all really basic stuff that people are having to beg on their knees for. But then hearing that it's not even that different in the 31st century, great, my faith in humanity just kind of is on the thinnest of fucking ice slopes, the thinnest of ice slopes that you could either slide down or you could just go crashing straight through and just kind of end up in a a tub of icy water or something. But I mean again, I think on the one hand I feel like it's I think on another hand too, especially because of what he said afterwards, we now have what we didn't have in the future. In the future they didn't have Kelly as Guardian, they probably didn't even have Guardian as a whole, they didn't really have Kelly, so now they have Kelly in the present, actually fighting to save the future and fighting to make a change, fighting to because I think despite these guys being from the future, I think definitely changing the future in that sense would not be an actual a paradoxical, or it would not be a time distorting, it would not be a flashpoint thing, ending discrimination, ending racism. That would not be some kind of flashpoint thing. That would be a change for the better. and everything. So like those ripples, we need those ripples. We need those ripples in the future. So then Kelly actually become the new Guardian, becoming the hero that the streets need and the people need. Very accurately pointing out that that is the change that they need to see in the future was a very good thing. But yeah, I don't know if I'm actually gonna get that out of my head. Like now, I'm sorry to say, 31st century things aren't really that much better. Racism is still a thing, discrimination of people is still a thing. So. Oh, jeez, my head hurts from that. But yeah, no. Apparently, the 31st century still doesn't look like ideal, and I think especially like it being where they come from too. Like 31st century technology would have just boosted and everything, and you'd expect that to be the kind of future from Back to the Future where Marty goes forward and then he actually discovers all these different kind of inventions and all these different things that have come out and everything. But then with this. I don't even know. I don't know. It's just depressing. It's depressing to think about. But then the one shimmer, the one glimmer of hope get is Kelly donning that Guardian suit like a beast, the beautiful beast that she is, and actually the beautiful badass that she is, and actually fighting to make that change and being like, you know what, fuck the 31st century you came from. I'm gonna change shit, and I'm actually gonna be the light that people need now. So that the gold on her suit has never looked shiny. The gold on her suit has never looked better or brighter or more hopeful. So yeah. And then of course, the only other bonus to this being that Brainy has Brainy actually admitting and showing to Kelly that he's actually been working on her suit for a while now. Brainy's a quick worker, so he could have easily been able to actually for him, a while could easily just be like a week or a couple of weeks or a month or something. Like it might not mean years, but then to think about him maybe doing it before Kelly even actually got the helmet or the rest of the suit from James back is just a while to think about. But then he said he's been working on it for a while, but then he's actually done a lot of work in that while too. So I think it's probably more accurate to be maybe Alex on the side telling Brain oh yeah, Kelly wants to be the new Guardian, and James has sent her new suit in, so do with it what you will. And then he'll be like, yeah, I'm on it, boss. I'm gonna make this thing the shiniest beacon of hope this city's ever fucking seen. So yeah, him actually seeing that he's actually gotten to work and he's actually been doing some shit is just the most kind of uplifting thing and everything. And it looks so good. And again, oh god, the camera work on that suit reveal, the camera work. I think Dave Ramsey's camera work on that reveal, that kind of slow pan up and then zoom out, showing all of her accents and showing her boots and her suit and the shield and oh god, it was easily one of the best scenes I've seen in this season so far. Easily one of my favorite things about this show. One of my favorite scenes in this show as a whole. This episode, for me, it's definitely up there. For me, this episode is definitely up there with as one of the better, more impactful, and one of the more kind of enjoyable kind of episodes of the show, and definitely like I said, one of the more impactful ones of the show. And that scene just showcasing the new Guardian, of National City. That just from then on it was me gushing. You can see in the reaction from then on it was just me gushing over Guardian. Every scene she was in, every shot she was in, every frame that she was in, every scene that she was doing her stuff in, her fighting, her saving people. It's so good. Ozzy should be nothing but proud of herself. Ozzy should be absolutely nothing if not proud of herself, of what she's accomplished in this episode, what she's accomplished in this show, building Kelly up to be this character, and then to show her in this kind of new at times kind of dark light too, her actually kind of actually giving us Kelly Olsen first, actually making us root for her in the best possible way, and then actually fostering that beautiful relationship with Alex too, and actually bringing us, and finally bringing us Guardian. It's something truly special, and it's just easily one of the more kind of redeeming things about this kind of show as a whole, and easily one of the more kind of appreciative and one of the more kind of just kind of shining moments and shining kind of aspects and everything. So Ozzy should be nothing but proud. She should be nothing proud. I think this is the thing with this being the final season. This just goes to show that had we gone at least one more season, then maybe Ozzy could have done. I say that, but then if we don't get a spin-off from this alone. I don't even know what the network is doing at this point. I don't really know what the network is doing at this point. Not greenlighting some kind of sequel, because I think after this I could definitely support and stand with and actually kind of get with spin-off of a spin-off like a team-based spin-off of Sentinel, Guardian, and Dreamer. Those three actually. I think, and of course, like Jean and Brainy in the background too. Jean and Brainy in the background too, doing their thing, actually helping out at the tower and helping out when they can. But then a spin-off series led by Dreamer, by Sentinel, Dreamer, and Guardian, like them three actually doing their thing, kicking ass, and being the defenders of National City. That would be the ideal thing. That would be the ideal thing. I think go the extra mile, do give it the care and attention and resources it deserves. Have it be a HBO Max produced and funded kind of show. If you can do it for Superman and Lois, you can do it for them. You can do it for these ladies too. If you can do it for Superman and Lois, you can do it for these three ladies. Give them the funding they deserve, give them the show, the light they deserve, and stuff like that. Spin-off, I think, and I think especially it seems like even more of a waste if you introduce all of this and showcase all of this kind of stuff in this final season, but then you just but then you leave it at the final season, like, oh, you just kind of have to assume that things go well for them and they keep fighting the good fight. But no, actually give us stories of them fighting the good fight. Give us stories of them going through individual struggles and actually triumphing at the end together and individually, and give us the defenders of. I don't even care what you call. I don't even know what you're gonna call it. I don't care what you call it. Just give us the spin-off that they all deserve, and actually let them. Supergirl herself is ending however she's ending, but then they still get a say in how their story gets told. They still get a say in what they do and everything. So yeah, just if anything, that's all that this episode has done for me. This actually wanted me wanted me even more badly to actually receive a spin-off of all these three characters. So yeah, just give it to us. Thank you, please. Yes, give it to us. And yeah, I think just my brain is just kind of still processing this and still kind of going through it all. But those are all kind of initial thoughts and everything. But yeah, no, just this episode was produced and presented in such like a important light and such a kind of I don't even know how to describe it, but it was so well done, I think I actively avoided too much, in order to just be surprised when it came and to not give myself too many expectations as to what it might be, and I'm glad I did, because then I was blown away beyond words by this episode. So again, Ozzy should be nothing but proud of what she's accomplished and what she's done with this episode. David as well. David Ramsey and Ozzy testify, just a collaborative duo to be reckoned with, a collaborative force to be reckoned with. They know how to tell stories, and they know how to actually bring important issues to light and everything. And I think, and because that I all the more look forward to seeing what his work as a storyteller is like on Superman and Lois too. So that'll be fun. And I'm curious now if we'll actually get to see if that does mean we'll actually get to see David actually suiting up, actually becoming the Green Knight. Because again the ending said, like he said, worlds away. So I think I'm curious as to whether that means that he's actually now finally ready to actually maybe talk to Lila about doing all this, or actually to consider actually suiting up as a Green Lantern, becoming the new Green Lantern or something. So because I think last I heard, HBO were actually developing a Green Lantern for the DC TV universe on HBO Max. I don't know if that's connected to this, or if it's gonna co-star John Diggle or something. So I don't know if that's gonna be the case, but either way, I look forward to seeing whatever David actually works on, and hopefully seeing that Ozzy actually goes on to something bigger and brighter and better and more suited for her capabilities and her talents and aspirations and everything. So seeing that come to light will be nothing short of amazing. So that will be fun. Just all to Ozzy, all of it to Ozzy and to David, all of it to Ozzy and to David. Just well done, just absolute, just wow, but yeah, that is pretty much all I've got there. I think we had just as soon as I remember, we had some minor stuff with Lena. Lena actually trying to learn magic, but then she ends up actually burning. What was her name again? Burning. Burning Florence's hands with fire, like her like actually being told, like, you know, you can imagine and conjure anything you want and everything, and then she immediately imagines fire and stuff, and I think she even actually knew the actual kind of the actual word for it too, like ignis, like ignite maybe. So she has some kind. I think she must have actually been told about that kind of spell work off screen, and then she actually kind of was mailed the book towards the end of the episode too. So Lena might just be on her way to actually discovering more of her witchy side and her more of her magical side too. So that'll be fun. Honestly, more than anything, I just kind of hope going forward we can finally reach a point where they can have Kelly and Lena in the same episode, or without, you know, cutting one out just to bring the other in, or anything like that. So I'm hoping we can actually give both of them more accurate screen time that they deserve, and giving them more accurate screen time to actually tell their ends of the story before they go on to something else. So one can hope and dream. So yeah, just hats off to Ozzy. I really don't know what else I can say, but hats off to Ozzy. She really nailed this episode to the board and actually kind of showcased exactly what she's capable of, and where she shines, and what she can do when you give her the tools that, you know, are necessary and everything. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got from this one. Those are all my initial thoughts on the episode. So I'm sure as always, once I hit stop on the camera, and once I move on to editing or whatever, like more thoughts will come to my head, I'll probably realize more stuff, or probably kind of interpret more stuff and do all that stuff as per usual. But for right now, those are my initial thoughts. So I loved the episode, and I absolutely can't wait to see what, you know, the future of the season and what the future of the show holds for Kelly as Guardian. Hopefully they come to some kind of common sense and actually give a spin-off to all three of these lovely ladies. So yeah, that is pretty much all I've got from this one. So that was Supergirl season 6 episode 12. So as always, thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment and read all the episode and what you think is coming up next on Supergirl. Once again, the full-length reaction for the episode will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is it. So, I will see you next time.